Autobots, roll out!
Hello and welcome to That's Just Prime, and today we're going to be taking a look at Transformers 3 Dark of the Moon Ultimate Optimus Prime, and I love this toy. Real quick reminder to everybody, if you see a black spot on the screen, my lens is not dirty. I dropped my phone and I've got missing pixels. I stopped saying it, and the moment I stopped saying it, I started getting the comments again. So there it is. Broken pixels, never mind. Moving on, released in June of 2011. This guy originally retailed for approximately $80 to $90, depending on where you found him. Here in truck mode, the tractor part measures approximately 9 inches long. It's about 3.5 inches tall. The trailer part is about 12.5 inches long, about 5 inches tall, giving us a combined length of 20 inches long. This guy is massive, and I absolutely love him. So, yeah, this guy came out for the third movie, and it was kind of like the Power Master equivalent that we got, since Dark of the Moon was the first movie that gave us a trailer for Optimus Prime. They also gave us a combination with it. Now, granted, it's a crazy combination, but it's so crazy that it's just absolutely awesome, and I love it. So, yeah, detail-wise, you can see Optimus is just, besides being awesome, beautiful, and just gigantic, he rolls just fine. And one of the things that I absolutely love about this guy and the paint job is that they gave us back the kind of gold fade in the front of the nose that we had in the earlier Optimus Prime movie figures that very quickly went away. So that's real nice. He is littered with MechTech ports all over the place. So, if you've got MechTech weapons, there you go. You can just put them everywhere. And as you can see, the trailer comes apart quite easy. No problems there. As far as, real quick, I want to mention the wheels. You'll notice that the wheels are painted in silver, and that's because I did that. This guy originally came with black wheels, and of course, I hate that, so I painted all the wheels up. So, let's take a quick look at the trailer, because I'm going to be setting the trailer aside. This guy is massive, but you can see he's got the refrigeration unit up there in the front, Autobot symbol, and he does have it looks quite very much like that trailer that we saw in the movie. So he's got the, it's all silver with the stripe there, the little angled stripe. He does have an Autobot symbol, which he did not have in the movie, but he does at least have it in both sides. Now, one difference between this trailer and what we actually saw in the movie was that the one that we saw in the movie was kind of unproportionately long. It's an extremely long trailer, even for a regular truck. Usually, next time you're out on the highway, take a look at trucks around you. Trailers are not as long as the one that Optimus had in the movie. Yes, those trailers exist. They are common, but they're not that common. They're usually about as long as this guy would be right here. But so this guy's shorter than what we would have seen in the movie, and he's also taller, but that's because the proportions of this have to turn an armor for this guy. So let's set the trailer aside, and let's concentrate on this guy, and you can hear the sound effects already going off, because this guy's got crazy sound effects. So let's just get concentrated on this guy and get him transformed. All right, so to get started with the transformation, we are going to come right here to the doors and just pop these guys open. They're just going to pop straight up as if they were wings, just like that. Come to the back fenders here, and these are going to just pop. They're tabbed, but they're tabbed right here in the back. It's not a super tight tab right there, so you can see they can just kind of come on and off. So just get them off of there and rotate them out, just like that. This is going to allow us to pop open the sides of the sleeper cab, bring these up. These are double hinged, so you're going to bend these all the way in. You can see this tab right here is going to go into that slot right there. So just kind of bring that over. And then this bottom tank part of the sleeper cab is going to fold in just like that. That's going to tab into place. And finally, just rotate the wheel wells and bring these up. And then that same tab that was tabbed down here is now going to tab up here into the tank. And that's pretty much going to do the backpack right there. So let's do the same thing on the other side. Rotate that and flip it. And there we go. Backpack done. Now we're going to reach in here. You can see these are the legs. So we're going to reach in here. The bottom of the foot is pegged right here on this blue part right there. So you can just kind of pull these off and that's going to allow you to pull the legs. There's a hinge right here, so you can just pull on that. The thighs, see if I can get that on camera. The thighs are pegged in right there, so just unpeg the thighs from there and bring these down, and there's your legs pretty much done. And as you can see, the whole thing just kind of naturally accordioned in when I was doing that. The whole thing just kind of accordioned in there, just like that. Before you do that, though, there is a, not a tab, but this will slide, there's a slider. So this is going to slide up. Before you can do that, you have to come up to the front here and just untab the center of the windshield. Like that. Bring that up, and now you're going to be able to slide this whole thing up and bring the legs in and just kind of tab them in there. And it's kind of hard to see, but you just got to get these 2 tabs in here. They're going to go into those 2 slots in there, and it's really tight, but you got to get it in there just like that. Once you do that, let's see, what do I want to do next? What do I want to do next? Because there's a head reveal. There's kind of like a really cool head reveal, and you have to do it in a certain order to get it. I'm not sure if I'm going to get it or not. Let's come to the front here and split the front of the truck apart. There goes the head. Okay, then. So you saw what the head reveal looks like. Alrighty. The whole part of the whole arm is just going to come up and click into place, rotate so that the solid part is facing forward, not the screw part. So just bring those forward like that and bring the arms down. Same thing on this side. Bring those down. So now you can go ahead and actually rotate this whole thing forward like that and just kind of get it out of the way for the moment. Now go ahead and bring the body down. And then these pegs right here are going to tab into these 2 slots right there to give us pretty much the rest of the body. Like that. Bring down the chest, and then the chest is going to peg. Well, you can see where the chest is going to peg right there and also down here. So go ahead and bring these down. Peg that in there, and we're almost done. So this little part of the windshield will fold forward just to kind of, tuck that away. These things that have been sticking out the whole time, these are going to come down and just kind of rest on the shoulders. And then finally, come up to the front, open the grill of the truck, and then there's a slider right there, so you can pull the arms out. And then just get it all straightened out, get the camera backed up, and get them standing nice. And there is Optimus Prime. Yeah, let's straighten that out. And there's Optimus Prime in robot mode. I know you can't see him just yet, but there he is right there. And I think he looks awesome. Now, this is another one of those very, very polarizing figures, and I understand why. I do get it. There were decisions that were made with this figure that, they had to be made so that it would work with the trailer. You're going to see why here in a little while when we do the combination. But I absolutely love the look of this figure. Granted, he's not 100%, movie accurate. He's got some things that I wish that they could have done differently. But overall, I have always loved the way this figure looks. Taking a look at the face. Let's see if we can get zoomed in, focused in. Come on, there he is. Look at that. Beautiful, beautiful face on him, just like the movie Prime. And, they gave him a mouthpiece, so that's always a plus with me. Now, articulation-wise, you saw the head can rotate. The arms, if you move this out of the way, the arms can, rotate forward and backwards, and they can go in and out. He does have a rotation at the elbow. He can also bend at the elbow. Nothing at the fist. I think that's a missed opportunity there. Nothing at the waist either, because of this whole chest front plate here is kind of just one solid piece. He's got a universal joint at the hip there, or at the thigh rather. So yeah, hips. So he can go forward and backwards, in and out. He does have a thigh rotation. He has a knee bend, and he can also tilt down his toes. Now, what do I wish they could have done differently? If there's, one thing I could change, really 2 things I wish they would change. And I think it's obvious. It's the gorilla arms. He's got these giant, wheels and fenders right there hanging off the outside of his arms. If you pose them just right, you can't see it and he looks okay. But, they're right there. And I really wish they could have found a way to have these attach be a part of the foot. so that when you transform them, these would have come down with the foot somehow and fold accordion in and just kind of sit down here rather than sit up there. I think that could have been very, very possible to do that. But, you know, because of the combination, they didn't. And then these things, they just kind of sit here. These don't bother me so much. I know that they bother a lot of people, and you can kind of move them around in a way that, you know, they're not too bad. So I really don't know, you know, I could think of something that they could have done with this, but I can't really think of what they could have done with that. So there you go. So there's Prime in his robot mode. Now, he's not quite, let's see, he's about 8 inches tall. So he's not quite Voyager, and he's not quite a leader class. He's kind of like, I don't remember what the name of that class was. There used to be a class. It started coming out around Beast Wars. And it went all the way through till about somewhere between the first and second movie. But there was a size class that was right in between Voyager and Leader, and that's kind of like what this guy is. And just to kind of show off what I mean, here he is next to the Dark of the Moon, not Dark of the Moon, Revenge of the Fallen Voyager figure. And then here he is next to the Dark of the Fallen. There you go, Dark of the Fallen, the Leader class figure. You know, and this is the Battle Hooks one, the one with the battle damage. I actually haven't reviewed this guy, so I probably should. But there you go. So you can see he's right in between a Voyager and a Leader. So, you know, somewhere in between there, about 8 inches. So, which is actually a really nice size. I kind of like the way it feels, you know. So let me get these guys back on the shelf, and we'll move on. So yeah, so we should probably move on to the trailer. Not a whole lot more to see here. There's no weapons or anything like that, at least not for this mode. So moving on to the trailer, I had to go back to this angle here because I need the length of the table, just because of the sheer size of this guy. Not my favorite angle, but you know, we kind of need the space. This guy's just massive, massive, massive. So other than just having all the MechTech ports and looking like a box, there's not a whole lot more to say about the trailer. So getting right into transformation, there's a big weapon that's pegged into the bottom right here. It's pegged in really, really tight. And so we're going to want to pull this off. And just right off the front, I'm going to say everything with this trailer pegs in super, super tight. And as you can see, it's not coming off quite as easily. There you go. And the rest of the trailer is no different. Everything is super tight with this guy. So there is a very good chance that during transformation, we're going to pop some parts off. They're designed to pop out if you put too much pressure. And because everything is so tight, very, very commonly, I don't think I've maybe once or twice transformed them without popping off a wing or something. So, so here is the big giant cannon that we're going to use for Optimus later on. This thing is really, really cool. So if you pull back on this piece back here, you're going to see this kind of like a little automorph or MechTech or what do you want to call it. So when you pull it all the way back, so you can do that 3 times, and every third time, you know, you're going to hear the same exact thing. But every third time, you're going to hear him say, I am Optimus Prime. So it's probably going to be on this next one.
I am Optimus Prime.
So same exact sound every third time he just says, I am Optimus Prime. Now, back here, you've got these 2 buttons. You can just hold that down and do that. And then on this one, so this one's shooting these missile launchers back here. You can see there's like these little missile heads molded right here. So, and then this one would be the front gun right there. So there you go. And, you know, this has what kind of resembles a little seat right here. So this is sort of kind of like that little spaceship thing that Sam and Carly get on. I think Sam gets on it, jumps on it to try and go save Carly, and the 2 little robots, Wheelie and I don't know what the other one was called. I don't remember. It's been a while since I've seen it in the movie, but you know those little small little personal spaceships that they were flying all over Chicago. This is not exactly that, but it's very, very reminiscent of that. You can kind of imagine, you know, somebody sitting here and flying this around, and you know, shooting it around, doing that kind of thing. So there you go, big weapon. You can't use this with this figure. You know, it just won't work with this guy. It is designed for the super mode. So let's stop babbling and let's get to the super mode. And let's see if I remember how to do this on this massive thing. And as you can see, we are definitely going to want to pack it up, and we are going to need all the room. So there you go. That's good. All right, where do I get started? Let's get started with the side panels here. And, you know, you can see all the lines, so everything is just kind of wedged in there. So just start popping things off. Start popping this side off. And then the sides here are also pegged into the arms, so unpeg the arms from it. There you go, and just bring that up. And we're going to do that on both sides. So unpop and unpeg. And I did not pop those off, and that is a miracle somehow. And now this entire front or top piece here, this is going to rotate up, and it's double hinged. Okay, so what it's meant to do is that when it comes up, I hope I can get all this in camera. When it does come up like that, there you go, one wing popped off. It is double hinged, like I said, so this has to come all the way back on that hinge. Am I showing it off? That hinge right there. So that comes back like that. Get these little antenna up and out of the way. And then bring this guy all the way down like this. There are two pegs here and here that need to go into these ports there and there. So just pop that right back in there. And then at this point, this wing, you can rotate that out and pop it off, then pop it back on, and then just kind of bring it down wherever it is that you want to bring it down to. This also has a double hinge here, as you can see from back here as well. So you're going to want to hinge it back and then fold it. This is going to give you the clearance. If you want to bring it all the way down, you can do that as well. So we're going to get this wing back in place. Double hinge that and bring it down. Now we can stand this thing back up again. Oh boy. And it's still not going to be tall enough. This guy is huge. Thank you to, by the way, this is coming to you by request. And I have been putting off reviewing this guy because I knew it was logistically going to be a nightmare. So thank you to whoever requested this for making me do this. So these blue pieces here, they'll just come all the way up. And then you just kind of position these, you know, any way you want. These are on ball joints, so you can do whatever you want with them. So you can just open them up like that. And then these guys, you know, you're probably used to seeing the product shots with the wings out to the side like that or whatever. So you can do whatever you want with them. I'm just going to leave them down for now. So these panels on this side, these are going to open up like that, one on each side. Okay, and then let's see, what else do we want to do? Separate the whole, what's left of the trailer, this whole thing is going to separate. So we're going to see. Actually, let's get these panels, pull the side first. Let's pop those panels. And we're going to pop these panels. And then we can untab those from the center and separate those as well. And as you can see, what this did is it gave us kind of a secondary, there's a secondary wing in there as well. And again, you can do with these anything you want, just like that. Before we move on these first wings that we did, these wheels, you can turn those like that for some reason. So there they are. Now, finally, before I split these, let's go up here, the arms. So these are going to separate. These are on hinges back here and back here. So you can bring these out. And then there's a hinge here, hinge here, hinge here, and a hinge in there. So you can bring these up now. And bring them right around here. Somewhere in this area is kind of where you're going to want them for the combination. Bring the fist out. And then this gray panel here, this is going to open up just like that. Pick them up, and then this part of the trailer is going to flip forward like that. That's going to create these little toenails there, and separate this entire bottom of the trailer was pegged in between the feet right there. So you can now separate those. Let's get them straight again. And you can rotate them, and you can also, he does have an ankle tilt like that, so that you can give him kind of an 8 stance, and we'll get into that here in a little bit. For now, let's just, there you go. That's a good spot to have that. Let's get that wing back on. And I told you, see these wings? They are just on that little friction right there into that ring. So they're not held very, very tightly. They hold on fine enough. But if you put any kind of pressure on them, they are going to drop. That's by design, because if they didn't, then they're so long and so skinny they would break somewhere else. So the feet here, the shins, you're going to want to open these just like that, and then come to the chest, and then you're going to want to bring these out and bring this entire thing down like that, and we are ready for combination. So you can kind of see what this suit's going to look like. It's just kind of like an armored wingsuit, which is really, really cool. So let's see if we can get the camera up a little higher so we can see the whole thing. Now, to get Optimus ready for combination, we're not going to do a whole lot. We're going to move the feet down, and when you do that, they're going to kind of slide outwards just a little bit. So bring the feet down and just kind of get them straight. And let's get these things up and out of the way. And what we're going to do is we're going to pop Optimus in there. And you're going to see there's a peg up here, and that's going to go into the port in the very middle of his back right there. Okay, there's another peg right here, and that's going to go into this port right here on this butt. And there's 2 pegs down here on the legs, and those are where the bottom of the feet are going to peg into. So you kind of have to straddle this chest piece here and just kind of, and there's, one more thing. There is a clip right there, and that's going to clip right down in there as well. So you kind of just straddle this chest piece and bring them down in there. And just kind of clip them in. There you go. Just like that. It's that easy. Bring his feet down. And just get everything fitted in there. There you go. Foot pegged in. All right. Let's see. At this point, we can bring the shins up and just clip into place there and there. This chest piece is going to come up and just kind of cover up his chest. And then these red pieces are going to, you see they got a little hooks. They're going to clip around the sides of his torso just to kind of give him a little more girth there on the torso area right there. And then you're going to play with the arms and just kind of bring these up and get them situated. You can see kind of the shape of the wheel well right here. So just kind of get all of this lined up. And when you do, we're going to rotate these down. And when we do, we're going to get these pegs right here inside of his fist. And that's how those are going to stay in place. So peg that right into his fist. And then just kind of straighten everything out. Bring that down. Same thing on this side. Line that up. Bring the peg down. Peg it into his fist. Bring this piece down. And then just kind of straighten everything out. And there you go. There is Ultimate Optimus Prime in his robot mode. And how awesome does this look? Now, here in combined mode, he's approximately 12, 13, maybe 15 inches long, depending on where you go. If you want to go to his head or to these blue things here or to the top of the antenna. So he's absolutely massive. And then as far as the wings go, you can do anything you want with these. You know, you saw, you can just do whatever you want with these things like that. You can bring these up like so. And just kind of give them a crazy butterfly look if you want. So whatever you want to do with these, you can. Now, if you were to bring these all the way down to the side like that, which I cannot do and get in camera. So if you wanted to do that, he's got a wingspan of 27 inches. So he's just massive, massive, massive. Now, a lot of you guys might remember the product shots looking like this with these long wings, the wheel wings all the way up, and then these kind of off to the side. And this is kind of what got him that name, Butterfly Prime. You don't have to display him like this. As I showed you, you can move these wings around all over the place. And, you know, you can even bring these down and bring these up instead, which I think looks really cool. Like that. That looks pretty awesome, especially for some kind of a flight mode. So you can do whatever you want with these. And typically what I do is, because of space, I just kind of leave the wheels up so that I can fit it, or, you know, actually sometimes I leave them there. It just depends on where I got them on the shelf. But I just kind of give them this winged cape sort of look. That's just me. And I do something like that, and that, you know, helps them fit in my shelf better. So it's whatever you want to do with him. Now, let's get back to the weapon. So we still have to get this guy attached, and this guy, the way this guy works is really, really cool. So if you remember this little seat part that I was showing off earlier, and push that down, this whole thing is going to rotate, and this is on a hinge, so you can bring this up, and you can see there's a peg hole and there are 2 clips. So this is going to clip right up here. See this black peg right up here at the top of the figure. That is where that is going to clip. So let's go ahead and get that there. And now it's really not going to show off on camera. So now we got that thing pegged all the way at the top there. So now what's going to happen is this whole thing is going to come down. And you're going to notice it kind of, I'm going to move the camera. I don't like doing this, but I really don't have much of a choice. So when this comes down, it kind of creates another helmet for Optimus Prime right there. And it's got some kind of a sight drawn in there, some kind of a heads-up display, something like that. So there's that. And then there are 2 pegs, one on each side of the gun right there, so he can actually reach up, and with his armored hands, he can hold those. So now he's got this gigantic cannon that he's holding right there. And again, you can go all anime and open the wings all up and just kind of imagine rays of light shooting out of this guy as he's in this butterfly configuration. And I think that's where they were going with this. I kind of think that they wanted to go with some sort of anime inspiration there. You know, that's kind of what that makes me think of. So there you go. And again, you can, you know, pull back on those. You can, you know, hit the buttons back here and just go nuts. And, you know, Optimus Prime is just melting everybody's faces. Nobody's face is safe when Optimus Prime is in this mode. So I'll bring the wings back down just because A, I don't like the butterfly wings, and B, room. So there you go. Now, what do you do with the weapon? The weapon doesn't have to stay on him like that. So just get him unclipped. And the cool thing about this weapon is that I think I undid the arm there just now. I sure did. So let's fix that real quick. So as you saw, there's a hinge. So this weapon can come up and over. It's going to hinge all the way back on the helmet, and then it's going to hinge back down again. And there are 2 pegs, one on each side over here, and there's these 2 ports on his back. So this guy can come down and clip into place, and there you go. Now the weapon is stored on his back, which is, again, normally what I do on my shelf. So I go pop another wing off, and this is now officially, I think, the worst review ever. This review is a disaster. So there you go. Let's get him standing sort of, yeah, there you go, kind of the cape, the winged cape configuration there one more time. And just to show him off again for comparison purposes, here he is with the Revenge of the Fallen Voyager class figure, and you can see how tiny he now is. He just comes up to his thighs. So he got very, very large. And again, with the leader class figure from the same line. You know, what many people consider the definitive Optimus Prime, or the definitive movie Optimus Prime. And again, you can see he still towers over this figure. So, yeah, extremely difficult figure to review, but it is a very, very fun figure. And, you know, it might have looked like he was being difficult to transform or move around or anything like that. And that's just because I'm trying to do it in this confined space while at the same time trying and hoping to be able to show it off on camera for you guys. But when he is on my table and when there is no camera rolling and it's just me playing with him, it is actually a very fun figure, a very, very cool figure. I have always loved this figure. I remember when it came out, you know, the pictures weren't very convincing, but, you know, I went and got it because Optimus Prime. And from the moment I opened the box, I fell in love with it, you know, just playing around with the wings and just the options, the play options that this guy gives us. Oh, articulation-wise, so as you saw, you know, the head doesn't change. The arms can move forward and backward, as you saw, so that we can hold the weapon. He is somewhat restricted, so he can still go in and out some, and he can bend at the elbow. It's the same articulation that we had in regular robot mode, just a little bit restricted because of the armor. So you just kind of have to move that around. The legs can go out to the sides, and then the ankles, as you saw, they can also bend to kind of give us those A stances right there. No forward and backward. So that's all we're going to get on that. So yeah, I really do. I love this figure. Another one of those polarizing figures. People either love it or hate it. I absolutely love it. I think it's a very fun and very beautiful figure. It looks awesome on the shelf. And I think that about covers Transformers 3, Dark of the Moon Ultimate Optimus Prime. What did you think of this figure, and what would you like to see me review next? Let me know by leaving me a comment, give me some thumbs up, subscribe and share with your friends if you like what you see, and I'll talk to you next time on That's Just Prime.